Hello, Brittany, and welcome to your Family Connections reading. Let me actually click on this. This is my database of composite charts. Now, what composite charts are is actually a combination of the energy and the person that you have chosen to have the reading for. So, what this is going to do is it's going to explain the purpose of each relationship, the past life where you came from, and sort of the gifts and challenges, and just the general nature of the connection that you and the people that you have chosen have together. It's like we are receptors, and this is the energy that is pushed into you when you meet this person, well, or when you came out of your mom, because that's where we're going to start. So, for this first chart with you and your mom, let's get a start with the rising. The rising in the chart is the path that you came to take. This is going to give indicator of what the tone of the relationship is, because with these charts, these apply to both people. This is the energy for both. It's not separable here. It's just who you are when y'all come together. Like, this is your dynamic duo energy. With you having your rising in the sign of Virgo, this is about teamwork. This is further backed up by the fact that Libra is in your second house and in some of your first house. This is supposed to be like your ace boom coon with this going on here. Now, the North Node is the whole reason that you guys sort of ended up in this together. So what is that? You came to learn to teach something in an easy way for other people. This could be cooking, singing, about your spiritual beliefs, how to find peace. But you guys are stepping away from any hard times you had where you grew up with that South Node in Scorpio and third. This means literally any difficulties that you had with people around you growing up, if the neighborhood was seedy, any dark or even in poverty, because Scorpio is actually in charge of poverty. If you came away from that, or that's what you're meant to have moved away from, because that's what you did the last life. You did not get to move away from where you guys started your life last time. Now I'm going to go through a couple other things on here to decide if maybe possibly this life, last life, you were mother and daughter, if this is a redo. But it is definitely pretty sure that you guys were family, and it's actually looking like siblings, because this is the house of siblings. Like, one of you was the younger one at some point, which is hilarious. So this life you had to be closer in order for you guys to sort of have a teacher student relationship. Had she taught you a lot of things? I guess that's what we would see if they were separate. But here, this is about learning together, learning to find peace and to let go of the habits that no longer serve. That is backed up by the fact that you have Pluto in Libra here. That means that there was always meant to be a transformation in your relationship. It's further backed up by the fact that Uranus, the planet of radical change, being in your second house of what you guys value, how you establish a set of beliefs together. You were always meant to get from this Scorpio area to this Libra area being the majority of the energy. And these are going to be hit at different times based upon the transits that go on outside the chart. Another big thing to point on here is that your conversations in life will go from the Scorpio nature with you guys having secrets between each other and maybe not being as communicative as you should have been, to this Sagittarius energy over here, where one day you will be able to openly share your experience together and the benefit of them. This is backed up by this Neptune being here. Neptune in any house puts a fog over the energy of that house, over the true nature of it, and it's karmically. So let's look at this Neptune's connection to your 12th house. So pride, shame, things like that may have stopped one or both of you from sharing your true feelings in your household, because this looks like this is a household about being upbeat. Maybe even you moved a lot with this going on here. Could also mean very religious as a background as well with this going on here. But that was always meant to have two levels here, because Capricorn is at the end of it. So maybe there's a family business, which goes back to this teaching thing. Maybe you're teaching in foreign lands, because this is definitely the house of things away from where you came from for both of you. And this was always meant to happen because of this Saturn in Capricorn. After this year, because Saturn is literally lined up right here, right now. You're having your Saturn return with your mom. So anything that you are doing with finances, if that's not working out, you're supposed to be learning what your business is, what you came to do, and it has to do with her, like her inspiration of you and just your nature together. You have Chiron in the 8th house here. This means that there is a wound in regards to things that you experienced in your childhood that maybe y'all have a hard time talking about. It looks with it, like with having Aries here, it's about independence, things that you wanted to have, maybe things that you didn't have, things that you guys both wanted to achieve. And right now, any of those feelings for that are coming back up because Mars is in retrograde in Aries right now. And Chiron, you're actually about to have a Chiron return. So any wound that you have with your mom in this relationship in regards to your peace or what y'all endured together as you grew up together will be brought up. But that's not bad because this is when you guys are going to expand. Your relationship is going to grow, and your ability to work with other people's money, such as real estate, taxes. Um, I wouldn't say sex work, but I mean, it's in this category magic, spiritual work, um, stock market, all that sort of stuff is where you guys have a possibility to make advancements for your financial stability, so to speak. Now, Venus, which is the planet of how you actually earn money, is by actually teaching. And the North Node, which is the hand of fate and how things come together now, is lining up with this. Maybe you guys are learning what you would be teaching in order to earn money, but the most money that you will have will come from teaching, speaking, writing, connecting with other people, and sort of taking the energy of what you learned in your life and sharing that with others, because the MC here is about speaking, is about in the highest point of your career, and the biggest thing you guys coming to do is to share your experience with other females and to motivate other females, women, people to take care of their homes, people to do domestic things, family things. You're teaching about family and that connection, and that's where the heart of this relationship is. With your sun in the sign of Cancer in the 11th house, you're meant to be seen as a family, identity, connecting to other groups of family. You will be inspiring because of this Leo energy right here. So you're going to connect with groups of maybe other artists as well, entertainers, politicians, other speakers could be a possibility. Now, the 12th house, which is the house of things that would be the undoing or would throw you off course here, is this moon. So there's some pride, some feelings, some stubbornness that might get in the way, or sometimes you guys might overanalyze things so much that you don't get things done or you don't see eye to eye, but that would be what threw the rest of this off. You need to have a meeting if y'all haven't already and figure out what it is that you guys are about to do to take over the world, because it should be coming together between now and December so that you guys can like really kick off uh, next year with teaching or speaking or whatever it is that you guys have come up. Now, let's get into dad here. Let's pull this up over here. I'm going to sort of go over this the same way that I did the other one for you. Do you see any similarities here? Ascendant in Virgo. This is another teamwork combination, almost like extremely similar to your mom's. There are a few differences that I want to hit on because this is going to help you understand everybody, because this is coming together like one big picture for you in your head. You should be like having aha moments with this. So there was also going to be a transformation in your relationship here in the same way that it is with your mom, because you are teamwork and y'all came from layers. Whatever difficulties y'all had in the beginning of life are meant to be gone away. Y'all are going to go somewhere that is supposed to be far, far away from where you were born. You were going to be a moving family, a traveling family. And that was always meant, because this restriction is once again here in Capricorn, that was always meant to take place after the age of 28, 30. Like this was one of those things that was going to take time. This was the turning course. And right now, Saturn is going through this. This just happened for you to take course to start to understand the rest of what's going on here. Now here, Jupiter, the planet of expansion, is in Pisces in 6th house. This has to do with film, music, dreams, anything that allows you to connect to other people on a level where it doesn't matter about your egos, like things that bring people together, like art, film, music, poetry, dance, things like that. Also spirituality. So when you guys step into the energy of you having a foundation in your relationship that includes you guys sort of blending into each other, sharing your dreams and stuff like that, things will multiply in your day-to-day life as far as what you do for work, because this is definitely a relationship that gives you the opportunity to connect with other people and do things online. Just you're looking for a very specific group of people that is going to be interested in what you guys have to offer. And I need to check and make sure you're there, because that is a reflection of your career. So this is deeply family oriented, all of this. You have the Chiron and Aries here, which once again points to the fact that all of you still have some wounds regarding independence and how you feel about your own identities and your relationship with money and collecting money and gaining wealth for yourself. Now, the differences are the moon is in Taurus here in this relationship. This means y'all are both stubborn in your feelings, but it's stubborn in your belief systems. You might be a bit slow to changing your ideas when it comes to, once again, this being energy that you guys create together. You guys are set in your ways. You believe what you believe. And you also have the ability to teach other people with ease because of this and the fact that you have grounded into and learned so much about what you believe. Now, Venus being in the 10th house, along with this North Node here, conjunct your midheaven. Like, yeah, this is set up. Do you guys speak? Do you write? Do you create things? Are these filmmakers? Like, because this is the planet of how you earn your money, and this is the destination. This relationship was always meant to go from being a family of people who possibly had to move around a lot, maybe be religious, just not feeling very stable, but also, you create your own philosophies. You fly by the seat of your pants. You were meant to come from that and move away from that out into your career, out into the public eye, out into the world with what you have to say. The heart of this relationship is in the sign of Cancer as well, which means for you, you still have to be a family in the public eye. And speaking about family to other families matters as well. Now, the undoing of this relationship is that Mars and Leo. This is the fighting to stay in your own energy that you guys may have with each other or together as a whole. This is stubbornness. This is not noticing the stubbornness or the my way or the highway attitude would be the issue here, along with the nitpickiness or not just releasing things because you're seeking perfection in them. Next, we got grandma. Let's see where this goes. Granny's got some interesting stuff here. See, now you see these changes because this is about Aries. This is an Aries rising relationship. You have the grandma K here. So when you have an Aries rising relationship, this is about independence. Granny, you guys taught each other how to get the bag, how to be motivated to get the bag. How about that? Something about you coming into this world made Granny have to start approaching things differently. And because of the way that she handled things in life, you now approach things differently. That's what this Aries path is saying. It's also saying that maybe sometimes you guys don't let out your anger like you should. If Granny's still around, that might have been a thing. But there's also Pisces here. So there's some spiritual gifts definitely that are there. Your dreams might be prophetic because of this. This is the combination of your energy together and even possibly the gifts that you have received from her because of this. Now, with Aries in the beginning, you learn to be hard on the outside. You guys are a tough crew. People see your independence, they see your strength, but not understanding that behind that is a lot of peace, a lot of hard-earned peace with this going on here. Because this Taurus over here in the first has Scorpio in the seventh, so this could mean a difficult marriage, or you guys witnessed a difficult partnership together, or coming from a difficult background that's going on here. Now, this leads to the North Node. With this North Node in Taurus in the second house, did you learn about beauty, art, food, peace, going outdoors and that sort of stuff from her? Because this is what you would do, where you would thrive together. What you guys came to enjoy this life together means going from achieving money through other people's money, like we've noticed is a important part that has been featured in many charts that we have read for you today. Things like investing, flipping real estate, getting into the stock market, taxes, like anything that you can do to invest your money is a strength in all the relationships I've seen for you. And this one especially because that's what you came from doing in the last life. You were somebody who had to, you guys were people who had to earn money through other people. And once again, this is another, Scorpio is an ace. This is another sign that this could have been slavery, but this life is meant to be a payback. Like you might start off rough, but this South Node is the past and this North Node is the future, which means that in the future, making money, doing something with your voice or your food or what you have learned from her, along with the lessons and the speaking, the teaching, the writing and all that stuff that lined up with your father and your mom's chart is here and is very like evident. The communication and the care that you guys shared between each other, the way that you guys speak to each other, the way that you nurtured each other, is actually where the expansion came in this relationship. It helped develop characteristics in both of you, which was a new tier in your family. This relationship is like setting a landmark for some new things going on here. With this Cancer in the fourth house, this means that the home that you guys would have had together, if you visited each other, the time you spent together was about being caring, but also with this Leo energy here is about being dramatic, being playful, having a lot going on. Now, I find it interesting that Chiron is the wound here. Does that mean that maybe there was some esteem about where you came from, how stuff looked, how your home looked, how you felt at home? Did she feel that way? Because that is all a possibility with this energy going on here. The drive of the relationship is in Virgo in the fifth house. This is strongly some Ayana energy. This is strongly expressing how you feel about helping each other. This is were you very helpful to each other? This is about being of service, being passionately of service in your day-to-day life, because it's conjunct your sixth house cusp, but also because it's in your fifth house of self-expression. This is the way that you talk, like you're just helpful off top. and there's no holding back what you have to say. This Pluto in the sixth house means that that energy was meant to change. And here we go once again with Saturn holding this up till later on now. Saturn being in Virgo, there's a while till that comes around. So, or it's already passed beforehand, but this is moving you towards, I guess you'd have to tell me, towards a period of peace. Like this would be you guys sort of splurging on each other with this energy here, because the moon, the heart of this relationship, is in Libra in the sixth. So this makes me feel like fashion, beauty, because this is the house of your day-to-day work, what you do as your job, what you do for peace, what brings you comfort, and actually where the maternal energy in your chart stems from. So that's balance, partnership, mutuality, um, fancy things, classical music, but mainly that beauty aspect and fashion and clothing and things that make your house feel better, because the moon is ruled by Cancer, which is in your fourth house and your third house. So we got to remember that Jupiter there as well. So something about your relationship with Granny is very important to what you have to speak about in regards to the family and your heritage. Now, with this Neptune over Scorpio in the seventh, this means that anything that happened in the partnership that was I guess, harsh, soul developing came from this karmic energy over here, this Pisces and this Aries, things that were pushing you to be independent, things that were pushing you to change things from your family line and what they have been through. This energy of the eighth house was always meant to start off a little seedy with you having to maybe even work for other people, work for other people's money. Just it was not what you wanted. But that was meant for later on for you to move into this energy of freedom, the freedom that you guys will have, that you gain through actually speaking your truth and speaking your experience as a family. Now, this MC, which means the way that you are seen by the world, the way that you are viewed as a team, you and Granny, whether to be known is as entrepreneurship, business, known for your legacy, and also the way that you help people, the way that your legacy, you use your legacy and your money to help other people. And this leads to like the most built house that you have in this chart, which is the 11th house, which is in the sign of Aquarius. Um, Although Pisces is at the end, this still means that you guys have to do something online or something with technology that allows you to help people. This is another sign that this could be music, film, speaking. I'm really feeling like if y'all write stuff, because this is where your money is. You make money in film or music, dance, theater, um, writing for any of these things, speaking about any of these things. In the sun, the ego, the identity, just about dreams and spirituality and the visions that come through you would be something that inspires other people, because this Pisces energy is all about things that come through the Lord, pretty much. With Uranus here in radical, the planet of radical change, in the home of radical change, what you would be creating, what you came up with would be inventive and new. The only things that could slow you down because of this 12th house is not trusting your intuition and not using your power to get stuff done, not using your energy or feeling too tired with this going on here with you and Grandma Kay. So the next person we have on the list is Grandma Eva. We're getting down there, huh? Grandma Eva. Let's see where this is going. Ah, another Virgo. Another Virgo rising. You got a lot of teammates. That's really handy. But this one, Grandma Eva feels like OG teammate because majority of this house is Libra. But at the same time, I must take into account the fact that Neptune is here, which means there might have been some karmic stuff on top of this that had to be weeded out. So let's look at that 12th house. Ah, was Grandma Eva super analytical, super handy, but sometimes maybe overbearing with the handiness? Because Pluto, which is the planet of transformation, means that there had to be some change in your relationship over time. There are things that you guys had to do to work on that was left over from the last life. This has to do with your ability to change or deal with your emotions or express yourself in a way that other people can understand without offending them. And this is for both of you. Because this is the combined energy now. These are things that had to be weeded out over time for this true energy of partnership and balance to come into play, because that was the main goal. Now, with Saturn being, and ignore these numbers over here, they're really doing whatever they want to do. With Saturn being over here in Scorpio in the second house, this puts some financial strain on the relationship, which was always meant to not happen until, what is that, 28 years later after you were born at the least? Because this is totally based on your 28-year cycle, since Grandma Eva was like already up there in life. So with this being here, this means that there was a restriction on the financial ability to gain here. And with this relationship, it doesn't look like money was ever going to be a major factor. If money was earned, once again, it would be through um, gain from other people's money or through inheritances, death, real estate, taxes, and that sort of stuff. But the values of this relationship were based on partnership. This third house with the Scorpio in the third house, this means maybe you guys didn't talk about everything. There were still some secrets behind you guys. And this is another one of those cases where it was always meant for you to start talking about things more later on. Something about the area you guys grew up within, or just your childhood and things like that was very hush hush for you guys. But in order for that energy to be broke through, or for it to make a change, you would have to discuss it, and then things would just like be the floodgate that opens. Because with your family having their fourth house, or with you and grandma even having your fourth house in the sign of Sagittarius, this is about having your own philosophies, developing your own beliefs in life. But that's just the end of the cusp. The strongest part of this cusp is in Capricorn. This is about building a family business once again. But the thing about this is that's the North Node. That's the fate of this relationship. That means that you're supposed to be known in the world as a family, because this is where the 10th house is. Go into the world, be recognized for your work with homes, your work as a family, your work with food, or things that help other women or help families, and then come and run that from home. And that was always destined to happen when this planet of radical change was pinged by certain transits, and lots of stuff is going through, construction is going through right now to pull this into alignment. Now, the way that you guys connect with your values, but also earning money, because that matters, which is, that's not conjunct, it's conjunct the cusp, but not here. But in the same sign of Aquarius, this means online, the way that you express yourself online, what you would put um, your words, what you're saying would be through technology, through your friends, through the networks of people you know. Because the family business, word of mouth. This is very word of mouth energy and self expression through your friends. With this Mars and Pisces in the sixth house, this is another sign that you need to be writing down your visions, writing down your thoughts, imagining, brainstorming on a day-to-day basis, because that's where your inspiration is given. Or if you have conversations with grandma, that's where the inspiration for that will come through. And I don't know if, because my grandma was born October like 3rd, 1920. She's no longer with us. If your granny's here, congratulations. If not, because of this Mars in Pisces, you can still talk to granny on the other side if you would like to. So you have the same wound that you have with your dad and your mom, in the eighth house in Taurus. The difference in this one is it's the pain from not being rich off of other people's money that sort of lingers and didn't really get resolved with this one. This is just because this is the wound that doesn't go away. Whereas with your parents' chart, it was all about you guys wound in independence or having financial independence. This is about not being rich or just being really salty about that with this going on here. Um, Now this sixth house, I'm sorry, this sixth, see my numbers all messed up here. This ninth, there we go. They really didn't have to do my numbers like this. This ninth house is where your Jupiter is, where you're a planet of expansion, where things will really grow for you guys by taking what you have been taught, what you talked about, and using that to share with other people to teach them a belief system, to give them ideas that inspire them to come up with their own things. You are meant to be the philosopher. This relationship was built upon giving you things to tell people about, because that's where your expansion comes from. That's where your ability to be able to move overseas and things like that, because this relationship came from a place of being family, being known as family, being quite well known as a family out in the world. And that leads to the fact that the sun is in Leo in the 11th. This means you're meant to be known as funny people, leaders, motivational speakers. You inspire people just out in the groups that you connect with. This is people in your local neighborhood, your friendships, your organizations, your churches, the way you connect to people online. This is just the identity of what you guys look like. And this is a relationship about being like parent child, but also just being fun for other people. This leads us back around to this 12th house of things that would be an issue, which are just pretty much nitpicking or over analyzing and not just being more free spirited, which is where the heart or the drive of this relationship comes in. Just basing things on feelings and not so much thoughts would make a huge difference in here. Now, the last one we have on here, which is anonymous, an anonymous past life relationship, actually has an Aries ascendant too, but this is a bit different than the other ones. Let's get to where this relationship started, because that's what you wanted to know. Because this is a family member that maybe did you not meet. That would make sense with this birthday. So the South Node for this, ironically, since you asked, let me make sure. Let me look at my little degrees down here. The North Node, 16 degrees, Pisces. Go to the cusp. Go to the cusp. They're not gonna come in. I'm really feeling like this is on the 12th house side. So this was absolutely karmic. The fact that you asked about this is really good. That means that this was the last incarnation for this round of your energies merging together, because the South Node is in sixth, um, in Virgo. This means at some point you something about the energies was meant to you work together in the past life. Co-workers is what this is. It's people who were of service, people who even possibly were people into health care feels very much what this is, because this is a partnership too. This is like nursing. This is health, nutrition, fitness, veterinary stuff, horses, because Libra is here as well. But it's you guys worked together, and in this life, it was all about not working. um, was this person like a monk? Was this person because I know this is your energy together, but this is very heavy isolation. I'm messing stuff up. Isolation energy. Somebody who wanted to be alone, who earned money alone, who found the most spiritual increase by themselves, which is probably a trait you have, because remember, this is both of your energies together. But this is a life that was about giving of self in order to start a new tier for other people, because all the way the planets are set up, this is about changes in self-expression in day-to-day life. This person, whoever this is, I don't know if this is family, because that would be dope, because this sort of is the major change in your family that starts this Capricorn and 10th energy, or this legacy in this area. You have several people who are actually helping you start a new chain that is making up for, I guess, what is taking place in this country. Because I see your people are born in North Carolina, Tennessee, Philadelphia, like all over the place. This is the culmination of all the events that you guys have endured before now, and sort of you taking all the experiences and flipping the game and making money for yourself. So go invest, go talk to your parents, talk to whatever granny's still here and all that stuff, and pull this together, because now is the time. And between now and December, you'll be getting it together before the big expansion next year. Thank you so much for your patience, and please let me know your feedback. We always have great chats, Bert.